I have to integrate my external procurement system with SAP S/4HANA Cloud. And I do understand for APIs, I have to go to the SAP API Business Hub to find out more about them. But how do I test those APIs?
When a customer needs to integrate with a procurement system, the first thing that we think is exchanging purchase orders. I went to SAP API Business Hub and I found an API for process purchase orders. Now I want to try that in my own SAP S/4HANA Cloud system. How do I do that?
Good question. Testing APIs is simple. First of all, take a note of the communication scenario ID and activate it in your own SAP S/4HANA Cloud instance. Then you can use the endpoint here in the API Business Hub, and I will show this to you now.
In our previous episode, Andreas showed you how to find an API in the API Business Hub. In this episode, I will show you how to consume this API. Part of this will be configuring the communication arrangement in SAP S/4HANA Cloud using this communication scenario ID, subcom 0053. The next step will be configuring the endpoint in the API Business Hub to test the API directly from here. To configure the communication arrangement in SAP S/4HANA Cloud, you have to follow those 3 steps. First, we want to maintain the communication user, then we will create a communication system, and then we will create the communication arrangement. Let's start with the communication user. We are creating a new communication user, giving him a username, a description, and a password. Then we are saving it. Let's go back to the home screen. Go into our next step. We are creating now a communication system. Let's create a new communication system. Let's just give it the same name as a communication user. We will just give it a dummy host name because we don't have an external system. We just want to call it from some client. Give it a business system ID, a logical system ID. And now we are associating the inbound communication user that we have just created before. For the outbound communication user, we can also just specify a dummy user because we just are interested in inbound communication. Now we want to create a communication arrangement. Let's create a new communication arrangement and look for the arrangement 0053. Give it a different suffix so we find it again. Here we want to pick the communication system that we have just created before. And save it. Take a note of the service URL because you will need it to configure your endpoint. In the Resource tab of Process Purchase Orders in the API Business Hub, you will be able to configure your API endpoint to your own SAP S/4HANA Cloud instance. Also, you will see all business data and all the operations that are available for this API. First, let's configure the API endpoint. Let's give it a name. the host, support, the usernames that we just created, and also the belonging password. Save. Okay. Now we are able to test our APIs. We are interested in retrieving purchase orders from SAP S/4HANA Cloud. Therefore, we use the GET method. We want to have the top 3 purchase orders. And now we simply click Try it out. You will see the request URL that was put together. You will see the response body, and also you will be able to see the response code and the response headers. This was it for today. In our next video, we will also show you how you can change the request headers and post a purchase order to SAP S/4HANA Cloud.